Hi everyone, it's Michael Lucas Smith here, and today we're going to look at the pre-alpha version of Web Velocity. So this is, we don't even have builds of this yet, so this is really early days, and let's see what we can see. Here we have the Web Velocity launcher, and it's comprised of many tools that you may or may not have seen in Cincom Smalltalk before, but this is a set of tools that you generally only use as console tools. You don't actually develop your software from here unless you really need to. Basically, we have our system here, which gives us a graph of our requests. We have loaded, so this gives us the system browser. It gives us access to absolutely everything in the system. We can load up other parcels that come with Web Velocity. We can manage any processes that have gone awry, and we can change our settings. So let's get into Web Velocity. This is the regular Seaside screen that people have seen before, but that's not what you're actually greeted with when you open up Web Velocity. Instead, this is where you come for Web Velocity. And we're going to make a very simple application today in this screencast, video vodcast thingy. I'm not sure it's called a vodcast if you can't see me, but we're going to make a blog server, which is the canonical Ruby on Rails demo. And I already have a database set up. Let's have a look at that. So I've got two tables. I've got posts and comments. The posts table has ID, title, content, created, and the comments table has ID, posted by, content, and post ID. So we're going to reflect off this using Active Record and Glorp and build a very simple web application that has what's called UI scaffolding, which will do most of the UI work for us. So let's get started. First off, we want to build an application. Across blog server, and we tick the database description because we're going to have a database set up here. Now we have the blog server and we have our application. We have one class here, which is our database descriptor system, which explains how the database is built. In this demo, we won't be using that guy because we've already got a database. So first things first, let's set up our database. I'm using Postgres here, as you may have seen, and it's on my local host, and I've just got a default user of Postgres, and we can test our login. This collection is empty. Oh well, like I said, this is alpha, so I know what that bug is. Let's continue. What it means is it was expecting some sort of domain model to exist. So rough edges aside, let's make our post class. And we're going to create list web component, view web component, edit web component with it. This is the scaffolding I was talking about. Okay, so now we have an active record class. If we go back to the blog server application and go to database setup, it's now happily configured. So next time we do one of these videos, hopefully we'll be able to run through without any bugs. But I feel that realism is more fair to people watching these things than to see where we're really up to. This isn't meant to be a major product demo. This is meant to be some sort of update on where things are and get some interest. Okay, so now we have a post class, and the post class has a post edit UI, post list UI, and post view UI. It actually reflects off the class names. These three UI classes realize that they're dealing with post. We can also see what's happening with our database by looking at database mappings, and we see that the comments table is not hooked up to anything, but the posts table, public.posts, is mapped to our class post, and one variable is hooked up, the ID instance variable is hooked up to the ID field, and that's an integer. So we can go and add the other fields now. We're going to add title, and we'll add content. Ooh, spell it right. And we're going to add posted, which I'm going to use as a timestamp, like so. And we could put the descriptions in here, and we probably should, but I'm not going to in this demo. So posted is going to be a timestamp, so we want to initialize that whenever we create a post. So we can go to the source code, and in initialize, we'll make a new method, initialize, and we'll call super initialize and we'll post it in as timestamp now. Now, I'm in Firefox 3 right now, and Firefox 3 changes something with tabs, so I can't tab that in and make it look good, but you get the idea. So we'll save that away. We've now got our posted, it's timestamp there. We should now actually be able to use it. You know, it should work. So if we have a look at the post list UI, by default, it makes an entry point of posts. And if we go back to the application, we can see all of our entry points so far. We've got an entry point for editing records, an entry point for viewing records, and an entry point for looking at all the records. So let's look at all the records. We've got no records yet. I don't see posted there. That's interesting. Let's have a look at our mappings. Okay, that mustn't have been the name of the column. Let's take a look. The column is called created, obviously. Great, well, let's go and change it then. So we've got posted here. What we really want to do is rename it to created. Okay, so we've now got created, and if we go and look at our system again, it should now match up. Created is created as a timestamp. There we go. Let's get rid of this window and open it up again. No, right, so we've got title, content, created. So it shows off the nice dynamic nature of the thing. Save that away, and we should now have our first record. So we've got first post. This is my first blog post, created on February 28th, 2008 at 3:31 p.m. Actually, that's not my time at all. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, so now we've got the very basics of a blog server. What we really want is people to be able to give us feedback. So we want more than one domain model. What we're going to do is create another persistent model, which is called comment, and it will hook up to the comments API, the comments class, I should say. And what happens here is that the UI here will now split everything up into the different groups. So we can see we've got two kinds of active record, two kinds of edit UI, two kinds of list, and two kinds of view, and database descriptor system is sitting down in miscellaneous objects. Okay, so we should now be able to see our comment, and we need to add some variables for it. And we know it's posted by. Now the column itself is posted underscore by, but we're going to use the active record behavior to figure that out for us. We also have content. And let's have a look at the database again. We have post ID, but we're going to use some very smart stuff here. There's a constraint that says that post ID maps back to post's ID in the posts column. So instead of putting on a post variable on the comment, we can put a comments variable on the post, and it will map it for us. Let's see that in action. Comments. And we want to initialize that to a collection. Okay, so now we should be able to go and look at our mappings and see that comments on the posts, just up here, comments maps to a field called ID from the comments post ID, and it gives us back a collection of comment. So now that we've got that, we should be able to add comments. But we need something in the UI to let us do that. We'll close this one because we're going to change it. Post view UI, we're going to put in an action to add comments. Now we're going to be able to override a method called render actions on, and those actions are things like edit, delete, close, and we're going to put add comment in there. So in rendering, we're going to add render content on. Render actions on, and we're going to put out a button, callback of self add comment with add comment, and of course we call super render actions on, otherwise we'll lose our actions. Let's see if that exists now. we go to our first post, we now have add comment, but it doesn't do anything yet. So we need to add the action for that. Let's add actions. And in actions, we'll put add comment. For those of you who are familiar with Seaside, you'll know what a call does. In this case, we're going to call comment edit UI on comment. And this scaffolding says if they hit cancel, return false. If they hit true, they want to save it. So that's why we can now test what the call does. The call creates a continuation, renders a new page, which is going to edit the comment. They hit save or cancel. If they hit save, we'll now do this piece of code. We'll add the comment to the comments of our post, and we'll tell the post to save, and that will put the whole lot in a single transaction. Let's see if it worked. Right, we now have a comment for our post. We want to put some sort of print string on it so it looks okay though. Let's do that. And that should be all we need. We can hit refresh here and take a look, and there we go. One blog server, mostly done. I think one other thing that I would probably want to do with it is change this page to be elongated view, but I'm not going to do it on this screencast. We'll do that another time. Okay, well now you've seen a very pre-alpha version that includes a couple of nice bugs of web velocity, and we're heading towards our beta, and soon we'll even have builds of it. And that's where we're up to. Thanks everyone.